Don Quixote, a man in his 40s who liked to escape the humdrum nature of his life by roaming into the world of fantasy and adventure.
Sounds familiar.
Oh.
Welcome to Box Meeples. I'm Libby, this is Julian, and today we are talking about Don Quixote, the Ingenious Hidalgo from Llamascape Games.
Manipulating, delusion and love.
And obsession, and of course glory too.
On a table by playing cards, then following in the footsteps of those novels, although there's no need to know those novels, but a little bit of background knowledge is always helpful and it helps you appreciate the humour and the cards that appear in this game.
Yes, I think when we first played the game and sort of approached it, we didn't really know the story. We've since done a little bit of research, just a tiny bit, just to get the sort of main thread of it. And I think it does help in the sort of the fun of telling out what's happening as the cards happen, and when you know a little bit about the kookiness of this character.
Don Quixote, what a wonderful man.
Yeah.
Obsessed with chivalry and honour. Remind you of anyone?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Just decided to don a knight's outfit and strop around on his old aging horse for a while, and give himself a whole new name and persona whilst at it. Yep. And get himself in a little bit of a few scrapes.
It goes wrong more than it goes right, particularly as he is obsessed with a woman he's not met who he's given a fictitious name to.
Yeah.
Why not make a game about a character like that? And it's a wonderful production. That's what's really great in the start of a new line of games that look like books while following in the footsteps of famous novels. But enough chat. It's time to board.
It is. Doesn't love the Book in the Box series. Now, this is not the only publisher that makes games that look a little bit like books, but I really appreciate we have some other shelves that have games on them. They're supposed to be bookshelves, and I can legitimately put these on those bookshelves.
You can hide it away. It's not as bad as it looks. They're books.
Yeah, they're just books. It's fine. No, there's games in those, and I just think they look lovely, on a shelf when it looks like a book, and it's like, oh, open up, and there's actually a whole game inside there.
Yeah, it's quite a compact, small game, ideal for travel, and does play a range of player counts. We've been playing it at 2, and it's worked reasonably well like that.
Yes, yeah, I enjoy that. And basically what you're doing is you've got 2 acts basically of the story, each one having 4 sort of main story parts which come from one of the cards, and you're going to be vying to have that element of the story either happen or not happen. Each card is going to have a different symbol of that obsession, the glory, the love, all of those different things. And you are going to want certain one of those to be higher than others because you're going to have secret little missions that you're hoping to achieve. And you're trying to sort of think, what is my opponent trying to do? Whilst also kind of lead them astray and get done what you want to do.
So say you've laid a heart character down. You'll be scoring for that heart based on how high the heart has got, the love has got on the track. So if you can lay multiple love and get that track quite high, which is a technique I try to do, you're going to get a lot of points. Ideally, that would marry up with your objective, but if it doesn't, there's still some reason to be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I think at least if you have those options, so if you think, oh, my objectives really aren't going well, those symbols aren't coming up, everyone's trying to crush them around the table, you're going to have other ways to score. So as long as they don't marry the 2 up, I think you're still in the game. So
and in addition to the card you're laying having an icon, there's obviously sometimes you get to collect gems, which are endgame points. And once they've been exhausted, that will vary in the player count. You start taking them from your opponent. So it gets a bit grabby that go on. Also, there's items that you can use, and these can either boost results, prevent your opponents from choosing which card after their random card, things like that, which you can then. So sometimes it's worth playing a card that doesn't really influence the outcome of the story all that much, but will give you end game benefits, even because it's going to score well, or because it's going to give you an item or a gem that you could use to guarantee a story that happens when you really need it to.
Exactly. And one of the tactics I really like some of our first games, I ended up playing quite a lot of the Don Diego cards, and they score mostly for pairing different types of cards together. So if you have one of those scoring cards which wants you to have maybe 2 different types, let's say love and obsession, to be between 1 and 3 stars at the end of the game, and then you also lay the Don Diego for love and obsession, you can try and make sure that the cards that you're playing are pairing up with those 2 symbols to really maximize some scores there. And the Don Diego cards actually do also work for gems and for items. So by the time you get to the end of the game, you really can rack up some points with those cards.
They're quite high risk, high reward, because there can be occasions where they score nothing, particularly in the second half of the game, because at that point on your little scoring map, the rivers count as kind of journeys, as ways to get the icons around. So something could move, say, to a 2 space and then zip around and leap ahead of other things. So suddenly, if you've been discreetly laying those down, you can then focus on maximizing those scores at the end, because as you have the transition between the first chapter and the second chapter, you can choose which cards you keep back. So maybe then you focus on really boosting up endgame one of the characteristics, say delusion, which at the time, at the beginning was very low, but by the end could be really high. And you've maximize the amount of points you're going to get from that. Your opponents haven't realized that's what you're doing, and that can be a great scoring technique at the end.
Yeah, it's a really good strategy to sort of fool your other opponents into what symbols you're actually looking for. Leave that one at the gate, all of the first act, and then all of a sudden second act, boom, it's right up to the top.
There.
Yeah.
But it's a simple game to explain, and I think it's often said about games having hidden depth, but once you start playing it more, you realize you have to be mindful of, do I get the story to happen with a card that's useful for me, or am I just focusing on end game scoring? And that will become more complicated with larger player counts, because you'll have less control over whether that story will happen. And that's when you need to maximize your items to maybe double your influence on the story.
Yeah, I feel like the more we play, the more we delve into those items and really make some key moments happen or not happen because of them. And it becomes a little bit more of a tussle between us because of those items. And of course, trying to grab all your gems.
Yes. And I think it's an exciting future for these games in a box, because we know there's Moby Dick coming as well. That's going to be releasing at Essen. So there's so many classic novels that it can do, and each of those are going to have different gameplay mechanics that go on. So they all will play differently while being in this kind of quite small, compact but variable game.
Yes, yeah. I think it's a good one for taking away travelling and things, as you said. So, nice little box.
And if you actually want to see us playing a game of that, we'll be having a video on that in the future, where we sit and we play it 2 players and really stretch our ability to say Spanish words.
And names, yeah.
So many Spanish names there. So if that's something you do want to see, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We post a video at least twice a week, and we're always talking about board games.
Yeah, and do let us know in the comments, have you played this one? Do you know much about Don Quixote or Don Diego or any of the Dons? We would love to hear from you.
If you're interested in buying board games, a good place to go is your Phone & Load game store. And for us in the southeast of England, that is Chaos Cards. But if you're not in the southeast of England, they have a fantastic website, and using the discount code you'll find in the description, you can save yourself some money at the checkout.
You can indeed. But for now, we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.